All right. Hey, Loyal Royals. I'm back in the building. Okay, so here we are. We're having more testimony coming in today. Now, this morning was actually kind of boring. They had a forensics expert come in who studies audio and visuals and basically had him going in, giving him a bunch of questions about the audio, or I'm sorry, the video where Diddy was dragging Cassie in the hallway. Now, I'm not really sure why they're making such a big deal about this video, because even if it was altered or edited, whatever, we still get the gist of it. Okay, Diddy still beat the mess out of Cassie. But so they were really grilling him, asking him a lot about why certain frames seemed like they had been chopped out, why the time frames were skipping. And he basically chalked it up to, first, here's the thing. First, the defense, Teeny Garagos, was doing the cross-exam, and she asked him if he remembered saying something about the equipment, the surveillance equipment, being old. And he said that he didn't remember saying that he basically said it was old and cheap. Okay, hold on, let me get my notes out, honey. Let me get my notes out. So he basically said that it was old and cheap, but of course he says he didn't remember saying that. So she says, well, let me refresh your memory. So she pulls out the receipts where he basically said that it was, it was old. It was an old system. And there were also some issues with it where they had like a motion detector, a motion sensor. So the part where Cassie was standing by the phone on the wall, she was standing still. Okay, so it's not having any motion, nothing's moving. Then when Diddy walks into the frame and he's standing at the other end of the hallway, I think that must have triggered, for the time to move or whatever. It's something about the pixelation. Okay, I'm no forensic expert with video and audio, so I'm just telling you the best of how I interpreted it. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I don't understand what's the big deal about that. I think the defense is basically reaching because there's some inconsistencies, they're reaching with that. But do we really need, to be so concerned about this video, because everybody's already seen it? We already know what was the gist of it and what really happened. Okay, but now the interesting part is Brianna Bungalon is now testifying. Okay, she's still on the stand for direct examination. Now, if you remember, this is the young lady who actually said Diddy dangled her from the 17th floor balcony. Okay, this is Cassie's friend. Now, she met Cassie when Cassie was working with Young and Reckless. Okay, so let me get my receipts. Hold on. Hey, everybody, listen, I didn't get to go live again last night. I had to order from Amazon my Ethernet cord, and I also had to order another charger for my computer because I left that too. Okay, so those should be here tomorrow. Okay, so anyway, yeah, he was saying that it was motion activated and that it's not unusual for it to be very sensitive. And then they made him show the compilation video where he put like different clips of the video together. He actually took the surveillance video and put it with the cell phone video. Now the thing is, when you see them both together, you can see a big difference in the pixelation. Like the cell phone video was much more dull and not as clear, of course. But here's something I thought was interesting, you guys. At one part of the video, there was actually a ghost-like figure. And that's literally what Teeny said. She said, can you explain what the ghost-like figure in the surveillance footage is? Okay, not in the cell phone footage, but it's only in the surveillance footage, not the cell phone, which is crazy because it was screen recorded. So I thought that was interesting. It was probably one of Diddy's demons. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, they called in the witness, Brianna Bungalon. She's 33 years old. She says she's a creative marketing director, and she has her own agency. So this is the one, like I said, that Diddy dangled over the balcony, allegedly. Okay, so she said that when Diddy did this to her, and she's a little short woman too, so I could see why Diddy thought he was strong enough to just pick her up and hold her over a balcony. They asked her, did she sustain any injuries when he did this? And she said she had bruising on the back of her leg, she had back and neck pain, and she now has night terrors and sometimes screams in her sleep. Now, we haven't gotten into all the specifics because the prosecution told her they want to talk about all of that later. So then they asked her, was she friends with Cassie? She said yes, and they're still close friends. So she claims that she met Cassie in 2013 or 2014 at Young and Reckless, which is a streetwear company. I remember seeing Cassie on a video for something like that some years ago. Okay, then she said she worked at a place called Diamonds in Placo, I think is the name of it, where she pulled out designs, and they asked her if she had ever met Diddy, or when did she meet Diddy after she started being friends with Cassie. She said after she met Cassie, it was like a year before she ever met Diddy. Now, when they asked her, why did it take so long for you to meet him if you were such good friends? She said because she didn't want to meet him, because she saw some things that she didn't like. When they asked her what did she see, she said she often saw Cassie on the phone with him getting upset, and then she also saw Cassie with bruises and things like that. She said it was a volatile relationship, so she didn't really want to meet him. Now, she said that she specifically saw Cassie with a black eye. Okay, she said she saw her with a black eye. And, but she said Cassie kept bugging her to meet him, which is interesting to me. You know, I think Cassie really thought that Diddy was somebody that a lot of people idolized, that I think she was really proud to be with him. Of course, until he got so nefarious, you know, that she just couldn't deal with it. But she basically said Cassie kept bugging her to meet him, and so she did. And she said they would hang out, her and Cassie. They would mostly hang out at Cassie's LA apartment. And she says that at the time, Diddy lived in Mableton, Beverly Hills. Okay, Mableton and Beverly Hills. She says that her and Cassie would work on designs together. They would get high together. When she was asked what would they get high off of, she said Mary Jane, Coca-Cola, and ketamine for the most part. Okay, she also said that Mia, the one that testified days ago, she said that Mia, Carrie, Deontay, and Rob Holiday would sometimes hang out with them. And Rob Holiday is a producer. Now, he's also Brianna's best friend. Okay? Hey, everybody. Hey, that Crazy Beach Aries. Oh, I love you guys. I'm so glad y'all are here. Make sure you like and share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Okay, so anyway, they were talking about one day her and Cassie were hanging out. And she says that Diddy sent something. And so when asked, what did he send exactly? This fool sent a list of places that they had been all day. Okay, so somehow he was tracking them. She said he sent them a list telling them that he knew where they were and that he had sent them a list of everything they had, or every place they had been that day. Then she says Diddy would come to Cassie's house banging on the door. And one particular time he came there, him and Cassie got into it, and he threw a knife at Cassie. And then Cassie threw the knife right back at him. Okay, please pay attention. So that all being said, they said what happened after Cassie threw the knife back at him. They said he left swiftly. Okay, now, she said she doesn't remember if she was doing rugs with a D at that time. And she didn't call the cops. And then she said there was no injuries to Cassie. Now, that's that one particular incident. So then she says there was a FaceTime that night. Cassie was supposed to be going to her movie premiere. Okay, and Brianna said that she apologized to Cassie because Cassie had remember Cassie had the bruising and all of that stuff, the busted lip, the black eye, because that's all from the hotel incident. She said Cassie and Diddy got along, but then they would just all of a sudden get into a fight. Now, mind you, this witness is also someone that was subpoenaed, someone who has been granted immunity. Now, you might be wondering, why would she need immunity? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, she admitted on the stand that she was selling rugs with a D. Okay, she was basically a plug. She would bring rugs to Cassie. She said that her and Cassie would do the rugs together. She said that Diddy had given her rugs before, and she had even sold rugs to Diddy at least 3 times, maybe 2 or 3 times. They asked, did she sell the rugs to other people? She said yes, but not often. Okay? So, pretty sure that's why she was granted immunity. And then she also talked about getting Oxy. She said Diddy would be doing ecstasy, Coca-Cola, and ketamine. Now, she's going to continue when we come back from the break. And I think it's really interesting because we saw her come in this morning. There was about maybe 6 or 7 people with her when they came in through the front. And we were all like, who are these people? Because they didn't get in the line like everybody else. They came in through like another door in the front. And then we saw all the media standing right there. So we knew there was somebody. And we knew that it's got to be, you know, the witness. But we couldn't tell which one was her because there was a bunch of people with her. I guess that's how they try to throw you off. Hey, beloveds. Where is Dad? Where's my chief moderator? Has he not been in the live streams? So listen, guys, listen, I really hate to disappoint you all, like I said, because I haven't been able to go live once I get home. But like I said, those items that I had to order, they'll be here tomorrow, okay? If all the wrongdoings, this should be legal. This should be illegal. It is illegal. It is illegal, beloved. What are you talking about? I was waiting for you, Queen, all day. I'm sorry, beloved. Listen, when I get here in the morning, I could do a real quick live, but it's so many people in the line, and if you're not really paying attention, people will jump you in the line. Okay, people will literally get in front of you. You have to elbow your way in because people are out here trying to skip the line. You know, they do a count because they only let like 14 people from the public in and then 21 from the press. And if you get here after 6:30, you might as well hang it up because you'll be in the overflow room. Okay? Elizabeth said we missed you. Thank you, beloved. I miss you all too. I miss you all too. So listen, when it's over today, when court ends, I'm going to come back out here and do another video. Hey, beloved, how you doing today?
How you feeling today?
I'm doing good.
People follow your channel. Say your channel name. They follow you right now.
Thank you. You all can follow me at the original QueenAShakur Show.
You better hurry up and follow her too.
Thank you.
Maybe get on, y'all. You know what I mean? Don't let me say it. Man, what up?
Yeah, so
Make me say it, right?
at the end of the day, I'm going to be out here doing another one because I want to go get me something to eat before we have to go back in or whatever. Yesterday, I stood out here talking to you guys, and I didn't realize it was so late. I went back inside. It was like 20 minutes till 2. Now, mind you, the break was over at 1:15. Okay? Hey, Red Wine Entertainment. I received Queen. No need to explain. Oh, thank you, FX Yogi. Thank you. Listen, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the super chats, the cash apps. I really love you all, and I'm so glad that you all are supporting. And but like I said, I won't really feel comfortable until I get my equipment together so I can do my lives at home. Okay? So we can just sit down and just go in like we always do. All right? Desmond said, "Don't do it like that, Queen." Where were you, Desmond? I haven't seen you in the chat in days. I haven't seen you in the chat in days. I think you've been on vacation. Have I seen DJ Academics? You know, it's funny you mention him. It's funny you mention, come here, beloved. Jay, I call her. I wanted you all to follow her channel. I haven't seen DJ Academics, but what's interesting is I was just talking to this guy that's literally his doppelganger, and he said DJ Academics did a video going in on him, but he said he's supposed to be up here, okay? We're waiting for the Ethernet cord. Okay, it'll be here tomorrow. I ordered it from Amazon yesterday. They said it'll be here Thursday. All right, so anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'll be back on her later on. Probably, I don't know what time court's ended today. It's probably going to end around 3:30 or 4. Okay, I may leave out a few minutes early so I can get out here before everybody. Okay? You've been trolling them. Jamal, why are you trolling people? You trolling DJ Academics? You need to stop. Y'all are so nefarious. Much love and blessings back to you, beloved. All right, so listen. Like I said, I don't understand. Why do y'all think they're making such a big deal about the tape, about that video? Everybody's seen it 1,000 times by now. And if you ask me, the more they're having this forensic expert up there to talk about it and to expose the pixelation and why the frames are, you know, the frames per second are not adding up with the numbers and all of that, they have to keep showing it. Like they're literally showing it over and over and over. Now, I'm starting to think that maybe that's what the defense wants. Because remember the scenario I told you guys about, and then Harvey Levin said the same thing? Remember how I told you about the story about the guy with the one leg? And then he showed it in court, and he never showed it again. But then when you keep showing something over and over and over, it just takes away the magnet, it takes away the shock value. It just becomes normalized. And now nobody is even thinking about that video. And I'm serious because even when I look at the video now, it's just like, you know, it's almost like it's not even that serious like when we first saw it. So that really is true. And I think maybe that's why, you know, the defense doesn't mind that they keep having this forensic expert show it over and over and over. And the main part that they're showing is Cassie at the elevator, Diddy dragging her, and then her getting on the phone and Diddy coming down, you know, down the hallway. They keep showing that part over and over and over. And the expert keeps saying, can you rewind it back? Can you go one frame per frame? So I don't know, honey, but it's not looking good for Diddy. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Diddy is gonna be wishing that he took those plea deals. He's gonna be wishing that, okay? So anyway, beloveds, I'm out of here. I'll be back to give you all a full recap after court's over with. You all enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.